Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought we might do a macro image, since we've been looking at a lot of macro photos in the last couple of days and why I love it. And this is one of the photos that I showed you on Friday in that why I love macro photography. And I thought we might just play around with it in ON1 and see what we can do with it. So let's go over and click edit and start working on it. I mean, really what you can do to photos is endless. Come on. So I was thinking with this photo that we might try sort of antiquing it a bit and just seeing what we can do with it. Okay, so here's our image opened up in the edit folder. You can see with this image, like this photo here, the one in front is definitely in focus and the one in back isn't. I'm not going to let that worry me with this. I think in the end it's not going to really matter. I'm going to put the highlights down a bit, mid-tones. Move that a bit. I don't like that. Whites. Just want to make sure if I bring the whites up that I don't blow out the petals. And do you want to bring the blacks down a bit? You could add a little bit of structure, but I don't know that's really necessary. The one thing I do really want to do with this image is take the saturation out. I don't want to make it a black and white image or anything like that. I want it to have a little bit of color because, you know, when you look at photos from the, say, the 70s, when color photos first started coming out, if you go back, the color is always faded now. Okay, so we've got this. One thing I do want to do is, like, the background is okay, but I think I want to get rid of more of it. Actually, there's one thing I do want to do before I do that. I'm going to go to the retouch and we're going to get rid of this bit of petal here from another flower on the edge. I think that'll be fine. Okay, now we're going to go to effects. I'm going to add a filter, and again we're going back to blurring and the blur options. This time we're going to go for the, I call it Gaussian blur. I don't know what the proper name is. There is probably another name for it, and I'm probably saying it's wrong, but there you have it. So you can just move this slider up and down, just see how much you want and how much you don't want. I just want the background to not be as prominent. So there is probably good enough, but I don't want the flowers to be blurred. So we're going to work into the mask, and what the mask does, it basically says where do you want the photo, where do you want the blur to be on the photo, and where don't you want it. So at the moment this is all white, so the blur is all over the photo. So now you can see my mask tool over here is already highlighted. So if we start brushing off, might just make this a bit bigger. I've got feathering at 35, which is not too bad. Now we'll start doing the what are these things called, petals. Well, it's not perfect, but considering I'm recording as well, it's not too bad. If we go over here, and do view, you can kind of see where I've done it. That look like a couple of octopuses. Octopi. Is it octopi? Anyway. So now we've got that. One of the things I thought I might do is change it even more by adding a color layer to it. And you can do that by clicking the bucket tool over here. It'll do it as a layer, which I don't mind. I was thinking of doing something sort of like a sepia tone that will kind of give that old look as well. And it'll just appear over here as a layer. There we go. Now obviously you can't leave it like this, so now we have to blend it, and this, the cogwheel thing, are where all our blending modes are. You know, so you can go through them and then you can, that one's not too bad, the multiply. And just go through them until you get one that you like. I'm probably going to go with soft light. It's often my go-to one with this sort of thing. Now, something I do want to do with this is add some textures to it. So we're going to go to the plus sign here, click this, and here are all my, I put some textures in here already, so we might try this one. I'm going to add it as a layer. Not sure what happened there. Let's try that again. Add as a layer. Okay. Now we want the transform, because obviously this layer is too small for this image. So we're just going to put it up here in the corner, and then we'll just drag this corner down. Make it bigger. Transform it, so to speak. Now we need, same thing with the color layer, now we need to blend it. So multiply doesn't really give us the effect we want. These aren't too good. Overlay is not too bad. Soft light might be better. So if we turn that on and off, you can see it just gives the image more texture, I guess you could say. So it just kind of gives it that kind of old look, you know, like, you know, it's been sitting somewhere and mold has started growing on it. But next thing I want to try and do is one of the things I like doing when I'm antiquing photos is to give them some kind of border. I'm not sure where I got this one from, but I like what it does. And you can do these kind of things yourself. So again, we're going to have to use the transform. We want to get this as close to the edge as possible, otherwise we will lose. What happened? Come on. Thank you. So we're going to spread this right out, right to this bottom corner. About there. And again, we want to I'm just wondering whether multiply might not be too bad, as opposed to, say, soft light you don't see it at all, hard light you see it, multiply you see it better. Let's leave it there. One thing we can see though is it needs to come over a little bit more. Just checking around all around the edges of the photo. But I've lost that kind of washed out look. So when I was practicing with this, I actually clicked on the bottom layer. Okay. And then I added another layer above it. This one here. So it should appear here any minute now. There we go. The same thing, we're going to have to make this bigger. You can do it from any corners that you like. You can see the border is still appearing over the top of this one. And now we want to, one of the things I was looking at was screen, I think. Let's try screen. But see, this opacity here is for the layers, and we can just bring that layer down until we get just what we want. That's not too bad. I could live with that. What about you? One thing I'm not too keen on is all the green in the background. So we might click on this bottom layer again. And we're going to add another filter. But we're going to do color adjustment with this. See if we can get rid of just the greens. You have to make sure you do this on the layer that is the photo. Otherwise it won't work as well. Okay. I was playing around with this before and I know it was working a lot faster than this, so I know it's me recording that's the problem. So we're going to click on the green here because we want to check, we want to get rid of the greens. So we want to just turn that saturation down. You might even do it all the way. So that gets rid of a lot of that. So you're just sort of left with the photos. Okay, you know, I mean, there's endless things you can do to them. So this just gives you a few ideas, and I'm just going to leave it there like that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.